So we were the international player trying to come in at that point. And everyone was telling us it's so saturated, AF is kind of king of the hill.
Yeah.
And basically, like, what are you doing trying to get into Singapore? We looked at the market and yes, AF was basically everywhere, and they still are everywhere, and they're still expanding, right?
Yeah.
But what we found is that I think what people at that point took as market saturation, I actually saw as brand fatigue.
Oh,
right?
Very interesting mindset.
People that basically saw AF everywhere, there was a customer segment there that basically was sick and tired of just seeing Anytime Fitness around, because that was the only option. Right? And customers crave variety. Even sometimes if it's fake variety, like in grocery stores, like they still want options, right? So our mission is to bring a better product, but we're going to come in and give people choice and differentiate ourselves to a point where we will improve the customer experience for them in Singapore. There's a big gap between what a really nice Anytime Fitness looks like and a kind of like a small and not so heavily invested Anytime Fitness.
So the standards are quite
different,
right?
And that goes into the size and also the equipment that they're allowed to put in, right? But you're still paying the same premium price. You still now you're paying like $115, $118 a month for the year contract. They have their discounts throughout the year, but like that's still like quite expensive, right? Quality control and making sure that gyms use the same quality equipment across the board and at least have a minimum size. So customers that are paying that price get that same variety in every club. That's one of the things. The other thing is working on human capital, right? So what we found is that a lot of the franchise locations here, they're basically run by part-timers with a few full-timers.
Oh.
Having a skilled workforce and team that you really upskill and invest into, and having not just an onboarding, but ongoing training and upskilling, that's another core focus of what we do. And the network that I'm trying to build is, I choose maybe 10 or 15 over the lifetime of this brand that each will build 3 to 5 locations over the next 10 years. Right? That will create an equal balance within the network, increasing hopefully the collaborative aspect of the network, which is what we're trying to achieve. I was just at a conference with my team, Beyond Active, here in Singapore, which was like a fitness conference. And they had won an award and they were just announcing that they just served their millionth customer.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy because they just
started.
It's been a rocket ship for them. The amount of members that we see being invigorated by it or being encouraged to do or starting to get into fitness because of this event, it's amazing, right?
Wow.
So I think it's definitely been a positive impact on the general community and populace. And I think what it's done, it's commoditized sports events from something that used to be very difficult and kind of broadened it a little bit. And made it accessible to a lot of people. And being part of such a sports event, being active and achieving something, that is something that gives people what they really, really need to start their fitness journey, which is motivation. So it has that community aspect as well, but it's basically, let's suffer together. I wanted to build something and startup capital or to start something, it's cheaper in Southeast Asia than in New York. So I would have more opportunity to do things in Southeast Asia, and that's why I came over.
I see. What were you doing in New York?
I was a web developer for a while.
So was the decision for you a very big decision?
It was huge. Like I had all my friends there. I had a relationship that I left.
You left a relationship?
Yes.
To build something in Southeast Asia.
It was a big step, big gamble too. Because like at that point, like we were honest, like when you're a teen or like 18, you were like 21, but you're basically like a kid still, right? Like you're 21, you're in love, you're like with a bunch of your friends, and everyone's working, and you're like, I could just work. But then in your mind, you're like, I could do career-wise a lot more if I move. And then it's like, do you choose career and potential financing or like money basically, or do you choose friends and love? It's like,
that's a philosophical question.
Not to get too deep, but like basically it was a tough choice, and I thinking that career is probably the more important thing at that point in my life, so I decided to move.
Now we are seeing a lot of trends where the retail rentals are going sky high.
Yeah, I would say 4 to 5 years ago, the general rental rate for gyms you could bid at maybe like 7, 8s. You'd still find some 6s. We're in the 11s and 12s right now.
That's double. 40% more.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. And I think it's not to put the blame on anyone, but it's certain international entrants that came in and really just jacked up the rental rates. It affects customers negatively as well, because as rental rates increase and our yields decrease, obviously as business owners, we have to manage our risk. So we have to increase our prices as well. And then that falls then onto the customer. I think it's financially irresponsible to let someone underfunded do this because the likelihood of... So the general outlay for an investment into a gym is obviously a big chunk at the beginning to build it and get it funded and all that stuff. But actually a huge chunk is the working capital required to survive until you become profitable, right? So that timeline, which usually is like 6, 7, 9 months, you're bleeding for 6, 7, 9 months. So you might need $150,000 to $180,000 just to survive to hit profitability. What happens is people who are underfunded might have enough, think they have enough, like, oh yeah, I'll set up the gym, fit out costs, I can get that all covered. But then they don't have enough working capital to actually survive to profitability.
Yeah.
That's where most gyms fail. If I've met a family that wanted to put their entire life savings into this. I was like, I can't do that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And I just had to tell them, look, that's too much risk for you and for me, because I will feel responsible about your well-being if this doesn't go right.